This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 2nd day of May in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, has issued a call for the Special Parliamentary Select Committee to hold public hearings into the proposed establishment of the National Intelligence Agency. The National Intelligence and Security Agency bill was presented to the National Assembly last week by the Attorney General Anil Nandlal. But given the increasing concern being expressed over the proposed legislation, President Irfan Ali has since instructed that the bill be sent to a special select committee. The General Secretary of the GTUC, Lincoln Lewis, has now proposed that members of the public and civil society groups also be given the opportunity to make contributions about the piece of legislation, while it is at the select committee level. In his address at the Labor Day rally at the Christian Labor College yesterday, Mr. Lewis expressed concern that the intelligence agency could be used to spy on citizens.
It is to spy on the citizens of this country. Already we have seen a situation where anybody speak or express another opinion beside that what is said by the Ali Jagdeo regime. If you express another opinion, they take you before the court. What they are doing now is creating a bill to meet the needs of this regime, where they are going to use the police force or the security forces of this country to make sure that if you talk, you will be prosecuted.
Lewis said Guyanese whose privacy could be breached if the bill is passed in its current form should be given an opportunity to vet the proposed legislation and express their concerns via a public forum.
We as citizens of this country will have to stand up and make sure that the bill receive all guardrails are put in place to protect people whose right, protect persons, that their fundamental rights and freedoms are not being destroyed. We have to take that position. And they have a call to the government, the opposition, that this bill that has been sent to a select committee, this bill must be given. There must be public hearings.
And he also told workers and their unions that politicians ought to be held accountable to ensure that they govern in the interests of the people and manage the welfare of the state to the people's benefit. The GTUC General Secretary said progressive trade unionists believe politics is about people and people's development. He also registered his concern over aspects of the counterterrorism unit that the government intends to activate. He accused the Irfan Ali administration of investing time and financial resources to erode rights and freedoms and to perpetuate acts that deny workers economic, social, and political justice.
They have destroyed the largest pension fund that was owned by workers in this country, the bauxite industry pension fund. They have done that. Inasmuch as and what has happened in the destruction of that fund? All the people who worked in the bauxite industry over the years, who have reached pensionable age, continue to live without a pension. These guys, these men and women are shameless and they don't care about us. They're now working to destroy the credit unions and cooperatives, because they intend to take away the lands and all property that are owned by workers in this country. And they are the people who call themselves the working class. They have removed the pension, they have removed the check-off system in the public service. Let me tell you what. I want to tell you this. I have gone through, I have seen, I have lived in this country and I've been in public life where every president from Burnham coming through who had executive responsibility for this country. I have stood up I have spoken my mind, but this is the worst I've ever seen.
A number of groups and organizations have expressed worry about the National Intelligence Bill. The Guyana Bar Association was one of the first organizations to publicly oppose the bill. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster. Bust the flavors. Buster. Bust the flavors.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
On Labor Day, the Guyana Public Service Union demanded that the government respects the rule of law, be inclusive, desist from what it called discriminatory postures, and involve all stakeholders in decision-making processes in the country. In a message, the GPSU said workers must remain united to stand against challenges that are being thrown at them by the government. The union said the deliberate and blatant and discriminatory ignoring of the astronomical increase in the cost of living, along with the current inadequate earnings of workers, cannot be ignored further. The union called out the government over its failure since taking office to appoint the Public Service Commission and the Judicial Service Commission, claiming that it appears as though those institutions appear to have been politically hijacked. The GPSU also said there has also been breaches of the Constitution and the laws of Guyana, International Labour Organization core conventions that are in force, and the ILO Declaration of Fundamental Rights and Principles of Workers, and the legally binding collective labour agreement between the government and the GPSU. The union has also complained about political interference in the public service. The GPSU said it was forced to highlight its concerns to the president, since there was unconstitutional political interference taking place in the public service. The union also said labor rights in Guyana have significantly deteriorated since 1992, but it called on workers to remain strong and focused. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, has called on the government to respect the rights of workers as he urged public servants to not allow themselves to be carried away by the handouts from the government when they deserve much more. He made those comments while addressing the Labor Day rally hosted by the Guyana Trades Union Congress at the Critchlow Labour College on Monday.
I want to urge you as workers not to be carried away by silly handouts. They cannot take you out of poverty. What is needed is measures that can take our people out of poverty. You can have 5,000 now, 150,000, unless you have programs that are going to put you in business. Unless you have programs that are going to educate the worker, improve their professional capability so that they could contribute significantly.
The opposition leader also said the country's oil resources should be used in part to ensure that every single worker receives a minimum livable income. In keeping with the theme for this year's rally, building a strong progressive union to respond to the challenges, the opposition leader said in order to respond to the challenges, persons must understand Guyana's changing landscape.
The landscape in Guyana has changed. A few years ago, we were a state-dominated economy. Now, while there are still some state enterprises, a lot of economic activity is in the private sector. It therefore follows that a trade union has to be organized in the private sector because there will be need for the counterbalance to protect workers' interests.
Meanwhile, the General Secretary of the GTUC, Lincoln Lewis, said the labor movement is among the government's targets for oppression, marginalization, and denial of economic and social equity and justice. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the GTUC, Lincoln Lewis, underscored the need for the labor movement to remain united and a force to be reckoned with. Still with union matters, former President Donald Ramotar has warned against factionalism in the trade union movement, telling the media that such division does not augur well for the working class. He made the comments as there were competing Labor Day marches and rallies on Monday, again here in Georgetown. The Guyana Trades Union Congress, the Guyana Teachers Union, and the Clerical and Commercial Workers Union marched from Main Street to the Christian Labor College for their rally, as the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union and the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Guyana marched from Church Street to the National Park.
They have to put aside political differences and build the labor movement on the basis of democracy. They have to democratize the trade union movement. That is what has caused the division, and that problem has still not been solved as yet. And I hope that they realize that they're putting the whole working class into a great disadvantage unless they build some unity in this country.
Meanwhile, FITAG's President Carville Duncan also called for the trade unions to end the divisive politics as he addressed members of FITAG and GAWU at a national park. Duncan challenged the unions to unite to address issues confronting the poor and working class in the country. And alluding to President Irfan Ali's One Guyana plan, Mr. Duncan said while it is important to address the issue of social cohesion, there are also many other pressing issues. According to Duncan, the trade unions have a role to play in educating workers on the development of the country's oil and gas resources, and to also guard against the misuse of the country's resources.
Purple Arts Productions presents a treat for My Mother's 6 on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th at the National Cultural Center. Beverly Smith, Mosa Telford, Leona Walton, Paul Budner, Nikhil Sankar, and others. Compliments of Halo City, Munish Wars, Elsie Pasad Muraj and Sons, Sunflower Jewelry, Kissoon's Furniture Store, Survivor Shopping Complex, NDNS Furniture Store, 8 p.m. sharp. Tickets $25 and $2,000. Directed by Simone Downing.
The wife and other family members of a 46-year-old man who was found dead in a Commonwealth Street Georgetown hotel on Friday afternoon want the police to conduct a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the man's death. The lifeless body of Omar Ali was found in a room at the Commonwealth Street guest house by a receptionist, moments after a loud commotion was heard in the room. Ali was last seen alive on Friday midday when he left his job at the Main Street store after receiving a phone call. According to the dead man's family, the receptionist recounted to them that the man checked into the hotel with a woman at his side on Friday afternoon. But during the course of the afternoon, loud sounds were heard in the room and an alarm was raised. The receptionist said when she visited the room, she saw the man's body on the floor with a woman standing nearby. She also reportedly told relatives that the woman claimed that the man fell and hit his head and she needed to leave the scene immediately. As the hotel staffers summoned the police to the scene, the woman jumped from the the second-floor window of a room at the hotel, falling to the ground as she landed. A surveillance video recording showed the woman clad in a short pants and a brassiere, with her blouse in hand, limping away from the scene. She explained today that she was in a relationship with the man for the past 4 years. She was his neighbor, and that's why she said she jumped from the hotel. She spoke to Travis Chase.
While bathing, he was waiting right at the bathroom door, and all I hear is blood up. When I look around, I see he lying on the toilet bowl, panting for breath. So I run out the bathroom, rubbed the towel, and I went to the receptionist and I said, come quick. He fall down. She said, who fall down? I said, the person I came in here with. They should come in and she accompanied me to the room. And when we go in, she turned to me, she said, I gotta call the police and the ambulance. I said, no, don't do that. I can't stay. This is my neighbor husband. And I started panic. And I went on to put on my pants and my bra. And I pick up my top and my phone and I jumped down the building. And I ran away.
Why did you jump through the window? Why didn't you wait for the police?
Because I get scared and I didn't want to wait for his wife, his family come there and see me.
The man's family said they were shocked and confused that the woman and the man were involved in a relationship. The family members said the woman is well known to them and lives just next door. She has not been seen at the house since. Police investigators are continuing their probe of the incident. The post-mortem examination is to be conducted on Wednesday. The woman said once that post-mortem examination is conducted, she will make herself available to the police for questioning. She maintains that the man collapsed suddenly and died at the hotel. 2 teenage boys lost their lives in separate drowning incidents on Sunday in 2 different parts of the country. In Oriala village in the Quarantine River in Berbice, 14-year-old Nathaniel Nelson died early on Sunday morning while playing with relatives and friends at a creek. A police report said that while the Line Path secondary school student was having a fun time in the creek, he started to encounter difficulties and disappeared under the water. His body was found more than an hour later, and he was pronounced dead after being rushed to the Oriala Health Center. On Sunday afternoon in Linden, a 13-year-old who left his home and ventured to the Buckton Creek in the company of 2 young friends lost his life while swimming. A police report stated that a Linden youth, Anthony Gordon, was seen running into the creek as he played with his 2 friends, a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. A short while after, an alarm was raised after his friends said he vanished under the water. Other persons in the area rushed into the water and started a search operation. The young boy who attended the Christianberg Wisman Secondary School was found at the bottom of the creek about 2 hours later and rushed to the Linden Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. In both cases, the police said post-mortem examinations will be conducted. Over the weekend, the Sheriff Group of Companies opened the doors to its new private general hospital at Lenora on the west coast of Demerara. The hospital comes with a plan to offer the highest level of medical care while attracting the best in the medical community. The multi-billion-dollar facility, which boasts 150 beds and all of the modern medical equipment to facilitate the best in medical care, is the first private hospital in Region 3, and its owners have plans of building similar facilities in other parts of the country. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Sheriff Group of Companies, Sharif Ahmad, the company aims to ensure its medical facilities will deliver on the best in medical services at an affordable cost. The hospital is equipped with emergency rooms, 5 operating theaters, a stem cell research lab that will be able to facilitate stem cell treatment, private rooms and open ward facilities. President Irfan Ali welcomed the new investment and noted that it fits comfortably into his administration's development plans across the country in the medical community. And embracing the new hospital as part of the government's medical advancement agenda, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said the government cannot develop a world-class healthcare system by itself. The Sheriff Group has also noted that with the new medical facilities, hundreds of new jobs and opportunities will be made available.
Purple Arts Productions presents A Treat for My Mother 6 on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th. Herbie Marshall on strings, Sean Bullock, Bunny Hobbs, Ronald Green, Mark Hall, and others. Fashion track by Chic and Curvy Fashions at the National Cultural Center, 8 p.m. sharp. Tickets $2,000 and $2,500. Compliments of Kalo City, Noodle Cake Creations, Safe Security Systems, directed by Simone Downing.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Across the region tonight in Barbados, the government, the private sector and the trade unions have signed on to the Declaration of Mission Barbados. The 6 objectives were laid out by Prime Minister Mia Mottley in her address at the National Botanical Gardens, where the Barbados Workers' Union staged its annual May Day celebrations. The Prime Minister said that after being knocked from pillar to post, it was time to set new objectives, having learned from the past 4 years. The Prime Minister signed on the dotted line along with the Chairman of the Private Sector Association, the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers' Union, the President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers' Union, and the President of the National Union of Public Workers, along with the Minister of Labour. The objectives include that by 2030 Barbados becomes a clean and beautiful large ocean state, and that the island will be transformed into a country of active, involved citizens. It also has as its objectives to ensure that every Barbadian has equitable and reliable access to clean water and nutritious food that are affordable. Additionally, the declaration seeks to empower and enfranchise all Barbadian workers and their families. Paraguay's conservative economist Santiago Pena, age 44, won the country's presidential election on Sunday, tightening the ruling Colorado Party's political grip in the country and diffusing fears about the end of diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Pena, who has pledged to maintain Paraguay's long-standing Taiwan relations, had 42.7% of the vote, with 99.9% of ballots counted, a more than 15-point lead over the center-left rival Efrain Alagre, who has argued for switching allegiance to China. Colorado and right-wing party candidates also performed strongly in the congressional elections and governor races, with some provinces recording a historic majority over opposition rivals. The election result leaves Pena facing a challenge to rev up Paraguay's farm-driven economy, shrink a major fiscal deficit, and navigate rising pressures from soy and beef producers to ditch Taiwan in favor of China and its huge markets. And finally tonight, international news. The U.S. is sending 1,500 troops to bolster resources at its southern border ahead of an expected surge of migrants, the Defense Department has announced. The BBC reports that those troops will accompany 2,500 National Guard members already in place to support the work of border agents. Title 42, a Trump-era policy that gives the government power to automatically expel undocumented migrants, is set to expire on the 11th of May. Officials expect a sharp increase in migrants to follow. The additional military personnel will be deployed for 90 days to supplement the work of U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers, a U.S. official told the BBC. They will not be doing any law enforcement, the official said, but will instead assist with transportation, narcotics detection, data entry, and warehouse support. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.